what we're going to talk about today is the various wheels or pulleys that you're going to use in your body to help facilitate a good flow for posture and mobility. So we'll get to it here. Basically, the hip pelvis area, you want to imagine the general flow in the body is up in the front, down in the back. So if I'm just standing posturally, if I'm tilted forward here, you see my stomach comes out, my back excessively arches there, which you can manage for a time, but if it's like that all the time, you get kind of stuck tight. It's really tight in the low back area and distended here and weak in the abdominal area. So we want to tilt the pelvis a little bit here to level that off so we can better lift up and extend through the body. And then that brings us to the shoulder blade, which again, you don't want it to be kind of rounded forward like this. You want to be able to lift up in the front and kind of back in there, especially as we're lifting. So for the leg, marching, raising the leg like this, that kind of wheel turning like this, up in the front, down the back, and the arm, shoulder blade, up in the front to lift the chest and then down in the back to pull that, anchor that down to leverage the arm up better, okay? Now for the head, that's a little different. Imagine that flow coming up and then kind of doing a loop-de-loop, like a ribbon, coming around and back and through that way. And the reason is if we keep going from the front, then I'm gonna walk around like a Pez dispenser like this, and that doesn't really do much input for posture or stability. And what it does is you end up pinching a lot in back here behind your neck, and that can cause headaches and other forward head kind of stuff. So up in the front through the chest, little loop-de-loop through here. That's actually off of the collarbone. There's a muscle, SCM, that cuts across there. It kind of follows that line to pull through here, okay? And then up and down through chin. You don't need to be down here, but just generally to level the head, and then down through the shoulder blades, back and down, and then down through the hips, and all the way down to the ground, your seat, and when you're sitting and when you're standing, down through your heels, okay? So there's another wheel that goes in a different direction, which is basically here, okay? It works in the transverse plane, which allows rotation, and that allows me to connect between, say, like these two extremities, or these two, or if I'm driving, I can pull back here and leverage through that one, not necessarily like throwing a punch, but like running, jogging kind of thing. It's the leverage through the core and the torso to do that, and the legs have a similar function. So you can kind of mix and match all those because we can rotate through that trunk. And again, that's about the midline. For women, it's about where the bra line is, right there. That's your seam for that, okay? So I'm gonna lie on my back so you can kind of see a beginner's guide to ensuring mobility where it's not as strenuous to hold up your body or balance or anything like that. So I'm gonna lie down like so here. And so you can see on the left side here, if I'm raising my leg, I wanna make sure I'm engaging my stomach, I'm anchoring through those lower ribs and leveraging through my core to lift here. Same thing here, keep that engaged, lift the chest and raise the arm, or you can have a weight in your hand and let the weight pull down and control it that way. Make sure nothing's pinching or painful. And I can imagine a string between the two, my hand and my knee, and control that way. Or I can even do opposites, right? So there's a lot of options. Just make sure you can use your hands and palpate, feel that, make sure everything's moving and that you are pretty symmetrical. So if that stops there and that keeps going, you might want to work on that one. Anchor and lift, leverage without compensating too much. And that's pretty much it for the wheels.